Hello data lovers. Today I will discuss about the most uncomfortable questions that you might face in your next job interview. I'm going to share my experience that I have gained from Coursera Big Interview Portal, and I'm very much excited about this. Let's have a look at the questions at a glance from the Big Interview Portal. That is the Big Interview Portal.
Come on, do you really think you're qualified for this position? Explain this gap on your resume. Have you ever been fired? Why have you been out of work for so long? I see that you were with your previous employer only 8 months. Tell me about a time when you had to work with someone difficult. What is your greatest weakness? What are your salary expectations? Tell me about a failure. Aren't you overqualified for this job? If you could be any animal, which would it be and why? How would you rate me as an interviewer?
Okay, now let's go back to my PowerPoint presentation because here I have uploaded all the tips and example answers, and also upload the video for individual questions over here. If you download this PowerPoint presentation, you can play this from here also one by one. So the first question is do you really think you are qualified for this position? This is aggressive tone, so you have to be cool, and they are looking for your temperament, how you react in pressure, any pressure situation. So be cool and answer confidently. Here is the example answer. Please download this file and prepare your answer using this example answers. The second one is explain this gap on your resume, and the third one is have you ever been fired and why have you been out of work for so long. These three questions is kind of similar example answers, and please don't use the fired word. Use the word that use the job description that ended well for you, and use the tricky answers from these two sample answers and manage your answers from these example answers. Why have you been out of work for so long? Actually, the interviewer wants to look at how you utilize your this gap or this time during between go to a new position, or between to have a new what should I say, new job. So please use the in all cases it's important to show that you have been staying busy and continuing to develop your skills between full-time jobs, training, consulting, and volunteer work. All are excellent ways to do this. So you should show these kind of things to motivate them or to show your gap. I see that you were only with your previous employer 8 months. Why is that? The interviewer wants to make sure that you are not a job hopper who will hop away and leave them in a tough spot. So here is the three reasons: reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, and the layoff, you moved on, you got fired. So prepare your answer according to these situations. And tell me about a time when you had to work with someone difficult. This behavioral interview question is designed to help the interviewer learn more about your ability to handle conflict and work with different personalities. These behavioral questions are very important to the interviewer. So here is the example answer. Please find it out. What is your greatest weakness? It's the weakness questions, and with good reason. So there is no perfect answer to do this. Don't try to play strengths off as a weakness. Use this 4 formula and follow these example answers. What are your salary expectations? It's about money. You want to do whatever you can to keep options open and get the hiring company to provide salary range first. So I am very interested in this position, so I would be open to any competitive offer. So use competitive word means you expect to be compensated fairly, and this approach puts the money ball back in the interviewer's court. They may very well keep pressing you. Follow-up questions could include what does competitive mean to you, or what do you make now. So if you feel you must name a figure, so then you can express your desired salary or expectations, etc. But first use competitive word. The next one, tell me about a failure. So if you have any failure in your life, please explain it clearly. No matter, everybody fails. Aren't you overqualified for this job? If you are overqualified for this job, the interviewer is going to wonder why you are applying. You probably have a very good reason. Perhaps you are changing industries, or it's a tough market and you are trying to get a foot in the door at a good company. And here is the example answer. The next one, if you could be any animal, which would be and why? Actually, this is a silly questions, and the idea is to cut through your interview and get sense of real you. Actually, this makes no sense to me. There is no wrong answer to this question. Pick an animal that represents a positive quality that you possess. Don't be afraid to have a little fun with this question. Okay, how would you rate me as an interviewer? This is a tricky question, so difficult as well. If the interviewer chooses to ask it, she is unlikely to be satisfied with an answer like just great. Okay, the answer could be I have enjoyed our conversation so far. I can tell that you are a very okay. And the good news is that a bad or untrained interviewer is unlikely to ask this question. Okay, so is this example answer, and here it is.